privilege of being Superintendent Fellows for 2016-2017 year. We're going to talk a little bit about college and career readiness in 9 through 12 mathematics and how to attempt to achieve this. So we understand that it's not an easy task to have college and career ready students in math, but luckily there's been tons of research done recently about how we can do this in our classrooms. First, I want to talk a little bit about Carol Dweck's growth mindset and how every classroom should be a safe learning environment. And then Deborah Ball built even more on this theorem that we should focus on the process. So we were trying to think about what does mathematical progress or process look like. And if you want to do a think activity, if you're watching this video at home, you could pause after I'm speaking at this point and think about which model reflects more robust and flexible learning. And what are the implications for teaching? So we determined that although both of these images end up at the same point, this is more realistic in a classroom of all different level learners. And this is what we had in mind when choosing performance tasks that Melvin will be talking about. Deborah Ball also talked a lot about building on student strengths and not just focusing on right answers, so you'll see that our tasks will reflect on that as well. Another idea that we wanted to mention quickly before choosing tasks and explaining why is the butterfly effect. So Marvin thought that mechanical execution of procedures without understanding their mathematical basis often leads to bizarre results. A temporary fix in a math classroom is just to put up a formula and then have the students apply it. But mathematicians created these formulas by discovery, and that's the way the deeper learning is understood and remembered for college and career readiness. So again, another think activity if you want. Try to think of other mathematical butterflies that you've experienced as teachers or your students have experienced, and how can we change these into discovery lessons in a sense. So Melvin is going to mention implications and resources, and we're going to show you how we apply this research to the classroom and how you can do the same.
Okay, thank you, Alanna. As what you mentioned, we're going to talk about the things that we put in the binder so that teachers can use these resources when they're teaching their classes. These resources are not made by Alanna and myself, but these are resources that are available online already, and we're just putting them in one place because it's hard for teachers to look for resources that they can use daily in their classrooms. So one of the things that we put in the binder is the essential questions, basically because a lot of teachers go into the classroom and they don't have any idea what the end goal is for their classes. So the students are just coming there and learning mathematics, multiplication, for example, without thinking how can we use this multiplication in real life. So we have all these essential questions, and this goes through all the grade levels from grade 9 up to grade 12, and we also broke it down into units. Okay, the other thing that we worked on and we put together are the different performance tasks, and these are available through weteachnyc.org. And to make it easier for teachers, we provided the website and the tasks, the title of the task, and of course the QR code. So once they scan the QR code, it will take them directly to the task. Now, one thing that we should think about this task is that it's basically a unit. It has within it the student work. It's annotated already with different levels. So there are level 4 student work, level 3, level 2, and level 1. And it also has the rubric that the teachers use to grade the students. And of course, there's the grab and go resources. There are lessons in there for the teachers to use in order for the students to be able to perform the task or do the task themselves. Because the performance task is the end goal of the unit. Now, in addition to the performance task, we also have the pivot cycle. We are using the pivot cycle that is being used at Bronx International High School. And this is very useful for teachers to use in their classrooms, especially if they're new to the pivot process. Basically, we start with the essential questions. We talked about that in the beginning. Then we have the identification of relationships. So basically students are trying to find 5 relationships that would represent the math concept that they've chosen. Then the students are going to justify or write a brief summary about why they believe the relationship is important and why is that relationship a representation of the math concept that they're choosing. And then they're going to choose a focus. So out of the 5, they're going to choose only 1, or they can also have 2 relationships that they're going to use in their project. Then they're going to do analysis and, of course, responding to sensor questions.
2 more resources just to keep in mind before we close is your own growth mindset as an educator, because that can make a huge difference, back to Carol Dweck. And also, we can be a resource for you, so feel free to reach out. You'll have our contact info whenever you have a question or are trying to connect the research that you're reading to the class.